Kennedy Kwame Akompreko Osman Berima ba Japan waba be piem wa ha yin kan enya ntie yi mu asotre se website university ho akohia se ebibrem ha Africa yen entrepreneurship akwaya bafa so ahyemu kana ama obia opese wo bobra titire de fa business ho no wobanya resource person obeba bekasa na wetimi ama onimde e wenya suahunu na we ya akọ eno ho na honorable abeya eno ka say ne ka na die nim no enche getting to the auditorium Ghana for aya crado wonomo twen incoming president to come and give them a motivational speech na say yehwe kwan na menua Penny Joe ewa ha Joe atesai
nyamia dumboko
we dey ne edika yehie nanso menim say we MPP ni mapa my description MPP
Midin Ankasa de Joseph Usu Juma me fra Asante Bekwai.
That's right.
Bekwai constituency ni Asante region there. Now can say Jua obi en monabo say Ju. In fact me a former assemblyman I was for Diam.
Hey,
Bekwai for Diam. I was part of the MPP communication team of constituency. I just say MPP mu dey yatna me a former delegate before coming.
That's right.
Nti ye very connected.
Wonderful.
The Dutch president and maybe
wonderful.
St. Louis, Miss Maker planning committee.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Then you man, yes, Yania just say about
Wabeka Yansa. And Tim say you drew premises, right?
We are here.
Never for Osha Casa a parody waha. Nina, yes, sir. Honorable Kennedy, a compreko Japan. A hundo, and a Obia Shakwan say. Omobet meeting and there, and lo and behold, atmosphere no a charge. Bibia dia dance here. Na yanko na afi yanko share sadia euphoria na che na efi yamfa ho ansam nyina emra Ghana for. In fact, eniji wa ha pa enti yanko around na efi yanko share enti saba pepe na ekono Ghana for aba. Yeah, me okay. Ghana for abano krabahwe ohwe car park ha the bia bomabe and all because they are all expecting the incoming president ama wetimi aba na honorable Ken aba abedru and then that's how we see it. I know and the incoming president honorable Kennedy Kwame Akompreko Japan incoming president and Yamiadum Webedru auditorium ho na wo hwe car park ho said their cars atro santene na wonim nyina honestly mandan menim say Missouri Ghana for wa ha ehwe kwan sa enti ebre naso ebusuafo moma Ghana for ina hu say sa na waba ne diem ya geno ma na ye fe since Andra and ye dey abepiem ewo Missouri hanso enti St. Louis website university and ye ba yane incoming president eba be de hyiemu enti enye fedi agro kra sa pepepe na tie. That's right. Na Honorable Kennedy aba abedru Kennedy is a have gathered and waiting for the president, incoming president, Honorable Kennedy.
Feel the energy in the room.
Yes.
Akwaba. Everybody say Akwaba. And then what's the other one? Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we've had a very wonderful session and I've learned a lot. I know you've also learned a lot. In fact, we've learned that the motivation for the young people in Africa can be more than just being lazy or walking around. But when the benefit of the competition is right, you're going to do what you're supposed to do. When you have a continent, when you have the youthful population running away from the continent, it will surprise you that by projection in 2050, Africa will have the highest youthful population. And if all these guys are trying to move the continent without trying to cause change, then something definitely will have to be going wrong. It's an error for us as a continent. And for Ghana, who has always been the light to Africa, those are young people who become our labor force. They call it brain reshuffling, but we call it brain drain. We will not sit down for all the young people to leave. And as Mr. Martin said, we need the PhDs to come up. We need those with the genetics engineering knowledge to come up. We need those with political science knowledge to come up and help us resolve our whole issue. The black man is capable of solving his own issue, as Dr. Kwame once said. It will surprise you to know that I listened to Honorable Ken just not long ago with an interview conducted, and he attested to the fact that the alternative of Dr. Kwame is one of the children. And so that tells you that when we are solving issues, the black man is actually indeed capable of solving his own issues. If Mr. Martin did it, if Nana Ajima has done it, you and I as young people can equally do it. Shall we give up to Mr. Martin? So we just want to zoom into the next session by taking a short video documentary. This tells us, this I think will sum up what Nana and then Mr. Martin talked about the entrepreneurial experience and the work that Honorable has been doing over the years in Ghana, so that we can know the man we are going to listen to today. We say,
let's move on. You see the lack of employment activities. Let's take a look at it today, 16 years later, and Hon Ken is not even 70 years as we speak. At the heart of the three zones employed in Tema, rises the Plastics Company, the new industrial pride under the wing of Honorable Ken. From jute sacks to takeaway packs, and a wide range of plastic products. The machines never sleep. Over 1,000 men and women keep the wheels turning, working in shifts that power both industry and livelihood. It is more than a factory. It is a statement of jobs, growth, and future builds with Ghanaian hands.
Along their craft mountain, an industrial giant stands tall, the Chanty Steel Factory. Owned by Honorable Ken Japan, still awaiting its grand opening. The factory already looms as a promise of strength and speed. When completed, it will employ thousands of Ghanaians, creating livelihoods for families and fueling entire communities. The benefit stretches far and beyond. the walls of a new steel business will rise. Skills will shine, and hope will take root. This is more than a factory in waiting. It is the architecture of progress, a foundation of Ghana's future prosperity. Honorable Ken has secured vast arable lands at Sigi, Hospital Priority, at Didu, and Adamu in the Volta region. On this fertile soil, maize and cassava will be cultivated, not only for food, but for ethanol. When completed, this plant will create jobs for thousands of Ghanaians, from farmers, factory hands to technicians, creating jobs across the value chain. It will open markets for local growers, cut down Ghana's fuel imports, and save the nation millions in foreign exchange.
At least, my steel plant, every ship, a day, thousands of people. Now, I see young men and women who create. When I see such things, so
Fruitland is another manufacturing company established by Honorable Ken in his constituency at Asin Yankumasi of Asin Central in the central region of Ghana. This company has provided jobs for thousands of farmers, women, and youth.
Mr. Martin had mentioned about fruits and preservation and all the opportunities in Ghana. Just before the Honorable entered the conference room, and it's really exciting. I can hardly stand myself, so I'm going to contain it, okay? I'm not going to take any moments from you. I'm going to call on Ajose One, Director of Communications Team for Ken USA. And so I'm going to call upon her. Let's give her a and it's so happy to see you again.
Thank you very much. I was expecting to stay here. Such a privilege. Thank you so much for this opportunity to introduce to you Honorable Ken on the age of Paul. I don't have a script here because I've come to realize that he doesn't get excited by false or fake praises. It doesn't move him, right? So I'm just going to say as I know it to be. This is a man, let me give you this example. There's this guy currently doing his PhD, almost done. He lost his father in Kumasi, and that times were hard. So this is the story narrating to me. He didn't know what to do while taking his BSc on campus, Ken University. Now he listened to Honorable Kennedy in Japan talk about how he did so many jobs at the same time. He tried taxi driving, he did taxi driving, he did several things. And he fed for himself and even some of his siblings and a lot of people. Self listening to this story gets so much inspired. And guess what? His daddy had a car, so he turned it into a taxi. And he started driving it on KUS campus. Because somebody I know, his boss says I am. Yes. He turned it into taxi, and that is how he survived and completed his program on KUST campus. From there, he moved on to do his master's, his PhD, and currently, as we speak, he's doing so well in this country. This is what Honorable Ken from Japan can do. He inspires people from afar. He's never met Honorable, I don't think Honorable knows him, but that is the kind of impact he's making in the world. And guess what happened one day when Seth was driving? He picked these 2 first-year students on campus who were trying to go to town. And he asked them, why did you choose KNUST? What has your life been? And he shares with them. These 2 guys shares with them. They said that, well, they should have been in school a year before, but then the family encountered a lot of financial constraints. And it so happened that one way or the other, they found their way to Honorable Ken in Accra. And he came in to sponsor their education. And that is the reason why they were on KNUST campus studying. So can you imagine how Seth felt? Such a strange feeling, right? But this is still about one man. These and many are the kind of impact he's making in the lives of many people. He inspires many. He tells his artists, as the whole thing is, he's not going to fabricate it. He's not going to add so much to it or take a lot out of it. And that is him. He wants it and he can deliver. He's not a man of just ideas. He has results. He has proven results. I mean, look at what we just saw. That is him. He believes in what he says. Today we were with him. We went to some places. I think he brought up like 3 new business ideas, right? And these are not just ideas he can do. These are things worth carrying out. He believes that the black man is capable of doing what others are doing. Why not? Because we all go to school, don't we? When we come to school, we all excel in the classroom, sometimes far better than the other people. So what then causes us still to be down there? And that is what he doesn't stand with. Ladies and gentlemen, if you give me the whole day, I think I'm going to talk. At this point, please let's put our hands together. And welcome to the podium. Honorable
First of all, I want to say a big thank you to all of you. I've lived here before, so I know your time, what you should be doing right now. Some of you should even be working. But you've cancelled all your programs just to come here. Thank you, and clap for yourself. I first want to thank the organizers of this meeting and say a big thank you, giving me an opportunity to meet fantastic young men and women in St. Louis and the environs. Thank you. I was called by Derek to come and grace occasion for him. But he didn't tell me he wanted me to speak. I mean, that time, about 6 months ago. And I told him that I can't make it that time. But I'll be in America on 25th for, I normally do my checkup. And the last checkup was due 29 September. So if he fixes it around that time, I'll make it to St. Louis. So we agreed, and I couldn't change it. When the New Yorkers heard I was coming, they tried to fix their own times just to prevent me from coming in. And I said to them, no, that young man, I have planned with him for almost 6 months. You can't use these few weeks to take me away from him. I won't do that. He said, oh, we have invited
about money. It's all about trust. So I've cancelled their program for today. Just and Derek asked me a few questions. What are you going to say about entrepreneurship? And I told him, you know, people think entrepreneurs are born. And I can tell you that entrepreneurs are not born, they are made. If you are determined in life to succeed, you'll be able to do it. And one day, you also become an entrepreneur. So, nobody can convince me that some are born entrepreneurs and others are not. It's individual determination. If you are determined to succeed in life, you make it. But what I will tell Derek and his organizers is that my people did a poor job. You know, if you want to show what I've done in Ghana to inspire people, then you don't do this lazy job. Because I have over 19 companies in Ghana. I put people to work. So what I see here is very sloppy. Yeah. And watching what was presented here, I realized he started, went back, came back. I was repetitive. Meanwhile, I have so many industries that would have filmed just to show, to inspire you. But that's by the way. Here this evening, share a few thoughts with you. And I'll start by giving you my background, just to inspire for you to know that every individual in this room, if you stay focused and you are determined to make it in life, you will surely be. You'll be able to make it. I was born and bred in a village called Sendo in Central Region. I went to Atlantic College, Winneba Secondary School, sixth form. Then in 1984, I went to Germany. I started washing plates, working at Promax supermarkets. To get to America in August 1985. And in 1985, my first job was Zaro Bakery. I was working at Zaro Bakery, then later got a job as a gas attendant called Gaseteria, then other gas stations. And later on, I started driving taxi. I bought my first taxi, and within 7 months, I had 80 taxis. Because I always saved $3,000 a month at that time. Minimum $100 a day. And every month I would go to auction and buy a used car. In New York, those who have lived in New York or the East Coast, you know it's very risky to be a taxi driver. So they have a bulletproof partition. I normally buy police used cars, either Caprice or Impala. They are very strong. Put in the partition. With insurance and everything, sometimes, depending on the price, it comes to between $2,500 and $3,000. Then I give it to Ghanaians, $40 a day. And that $40, unless you bring the car to me for me to take it to the mechanic, I don't want no excuse. $40, $40. So every day they were making 280, and I was making 100. So a young guy with no papers, I saved $380 a day. Somebody who was working for $120 a week at Zero Baker. Struggle on. And the story is, I went to Ghana to support Professor Eduboy. Myself, Dr. Preku, my boss, the guy from the city. The D-Day, Professor Eduboy was so sure he was going to win the election. So he listed his ministers. And I sponsored him heavily, but my name was not there. He just tapped me. Young man, you're going to be a good businessman. I was so offended. Because I'm not a university graduate. That is why probably he could not even pencil me for deputy ministerial appointment. And I stayed in Ghana for 8 months after his defeat. When I came back to America, my landlord, that time, I escaped something. My boss, Kojuan from the city, he left for Ghana, and I bought the company. I was a paralegal, not a lawyer, but I ran a law firm at 3 East 167th Street in the Bronx. So when I came back after the election, my landlord had taken everything from me because I couldn't pay the rent for 8 months. I was left with one car, and I started driving down. I moved to Co-op City in the Bronx. So Baychester, between Baychester and Co-op City, wake up in the morning, I use my Lincoln to pick these workers. And one day I said to myself, you know, Professor Eduboy thought maybe I didn't have a degree, that's why it's not so. I decided to go to university. I went to university at the age of 34. So some of you are very lucky to finish university at the age of 20, 22. You know, I was a grown man and decided to go to university. One day I was there and my economics professor called me, said, oh, I have a job for you at Solomon and Solomon. I said, okay. I was excited. And when he was talking to me, I had $1,145,000 in a great bank in Ghana. So when they came to interview me, they said, oh, when you finish, we are going to give you good money, but we're starting with $120,000. And I'm going to pay Uncle Sam. So I went back home and told my wife that, so with all this wahala, they're going to give me $120,000. When I have $1,145,000 sitting in my account, I quit. And my wife is a typical Fanti, and surprisingly, she's from the same place with Madame. Half Elimina, half Sopo. And they were highly educated from R.P. Afo's family. So she was disturbed. And I promised her one day. I said, you know what, honey, one day I'll employ PhDs, masters, first degrees for all of them to work for me. And I've done exactly that. share this experience with you just to motivate you, encourage you, that your beginnings are far better than mine. Your beginnings are far better than mine. And therefore, if you want to succeed in life, take advantage of the opportunities here and build on it. How are you going to build on it? You know, ladies and gentlemen in this room, I know most of you are elite, having good jobs. But my advice to you is get experience from here, build on it, and be entrepreneur yourself and also employ people. If a dropout employs 7,360 people, and you, the educated ones, when you put your mind together, you can do better than Kennedy Japan. But let me share a few things with you if you really want to succeed in life. I call it 7 determinants of successful business. 7 determinants of successful business. 1 is vision. Every individual in this room should have a vision. And your vision, you have to dream big. Don't be a myopic thinker. In Ghana, our culture, our system, big things, think just small. You don't think big. Because when you are communicating or talking to friends, and you tell them, oh, I'm going to build this school, Western, the first thing that comes to them is, oh, too no. Talk too much. And such words really discourage potential people. You have to rise above that. And whatever you want to do in life, share it with a friend. Why you share it with a friend is that if you keep things to yourself, you might not get to where you are. But if you tell a brother, look, I'm going to challenge myself. I'll build Webster University. And the moment he tells you you are too near, it becomes a challenge to you to fulfill whatever you said to him or your vision. So a man of a vision is the one who dreams big, foresee into the future, that in the next 4 or 5 years, this is the level I want to attain. Most Ghanaians, they have the vision, but they can't implement it because the second point, courage. They don't have courage. You need to have courage. And anybody with courage will take risk. And the future belongs to risk takers, not security seekers. They say, or they buy stocks or bonds. I'm not condemning it, but you can go beyond that and take a risk and use your savings as investment. It takes courageous people to look at their fact checks and say that I'm going to invest this money in people. If you are comfortable where you are and you buy the stocks, don't forget, someone is managing the stocks for you. How much is the person making for him to give you the interest you expect? That is the question. So the one who takes the risk with his savings, obviously, with proper management, will triple it more than what the stock is going to give him. I'll give you one example in Ghana, for instance. President Mahama gave some companies loans to expand their businesses. And as dishonest as they are, instead of expanding their businesses to create employment, they found an easy way of buying treasury bills. And they use the dividends from the treasury bills to offset the loan without expanding their business. Fortunately, the Indians, who also got a loan, did not buy treasury bills. And now they have huge industries in the pharmaceutical industries. One of them is behind my steel plant, and you need to see it. I went there and I questioned, why can't Ghanaians do it? I checked his land size, and now I've acquired 100 acres, and I'm going to build the biggest pharmaceutical industry in West Africa. I've gone round about 6 times to check the land size and the buildings or the structures he has on. And I'm going to beat him. But the Ghanaians who got the same amount of money as loans thought they were smart. They bought treasury bills. Lazy approach, that's how I call it. Lazy approach, very comfortable, sitting at their comfortable homes and making the money from the treasury bills and then offsetting the loan. Now, when you go there, if they were employing 20 people, now they are employing 15. So, we need to have courageous people who will take risk. And definitely, the word risk, simple means it's not going to be easy. The certainty is not there. That's why you call it risk. You can lose everything. By default, you have to rise. Life still goes on. That is how I challenge myself at any given time. I never give up in life. I always push. Again, there's a difference between vision and foresight. You can have the vision. You will have all the dreams. One with the foresight is, let's take it for instance, today, stocks. Or let me use the Ghana example. For the past 4 or 5 months, the exchange rate, you see dollar was dropping, falling. I told Ghanaians that look, if you have money, buy the dollars today, because these guys, they have not come up with any policy that is reducing or giving value to our city. But the truth is, it is because of Trump's trade tariffs war with the rest of the world. That is why the demand for dollar has gone down, and therefore they are priding themselves that they've come up with policies and they've reduced the rate. It's not true. That time it was 10. When I was leaving, it was 14.05. Within a month, shot up from 10 to 14.05. Do the mathematics and see. It means in a month, you've made 40%. That's ridiculous. So you can project that in the next 5 years, especially those of you in IT, technology and innovations, you can do a projection and say that in the next 5 years, this is where the world will be, and therefore let me begin now. Those are guys with foresights. They think into the future. Not therefore I give practical examples. 4 days ago, I was going to have a meeting, a program at UPS. Whilst I was there, my PA showed me a text that there's a billionaire, an Indian billionaire living in Dubai who wants to meet me. See, I don't know him. So, well, you are the only person who wants to meet in this country. So, okay. 9 o'clock, breakfast. He's so determined to meet me. So when we met, I asked him one question. What do you know about me? And he laughed. He said, I've checked everything about you before coming. I haven't come across a politician and a businessman that there's no negatives when it comes to business and what you do, your integrity. I hear very, very vociferous. That one is there. But your integrity is unquestionable. That is why I've come to see if you can partner me for us to in Ghana. I can't refuse such an offer. So, and you know, the guy who brought him to me actually rented some cars for them. In fact, he came with a delegation of 7. And I also wanted to impress. Yeah, so they normally have some impression about Ghanaian businessmen because they always want to take from them. So at the restaurant, he said, no, it's on me. I said, when I come to Dubai, it's on you. But here, it's my country. It's on me. Then, when I was seeing them off, I saw the cars they were using, and I called the guy back. Tomorrow, I'll give you 1 Bentley, 1 Maybach, and 1 S-Class. Okay? You have to let them know that Africans are not cheap. We also know what time it is. So, I got 3 drivers to drive them around, and that same afternoon, we met at lunch, and he said, you know what? I want to host you in my house in Dubai. When you come to Dubai, I said, thank you. Don't worry, I'll be there. You know, integrity is key to success. I don't know this man anywhere. He's gone round. Did his investigation, and the luck fell on me. Not just by chance, but because of my principle. And I advise the boys who were with him that opportunity like this, you have to make sure you are sincere to the team. Do not, they will cut you off. And the world is small. With technology, if you do him today, the next businessman that you are going to meet, they will be in contact, and they will destroy you by sharing their experience with them. So you have to be careful. So anybody who wants to succeed in life, no matter your level of intelligence, no matter the level of education, if you are dishonest, you will never succeed in life. Ghana, we are where we are because of dishonesty. I'm sorry, I'm a politician, but I have to let you know the gospel truth. The level of dishonesty in Ghana, it is not only politicians, but Ghanaians, ourselves, our culture, everything makes us corrupt and dishonest. So the few ones that try or make attempt to be sincere, you see them doing very well in Ghana. And I want to assure you, you don't have to give up hope, because if you have time to do business in Ghana, and the word is time, if you have time to do business in Ghana, returns on investment in Ghana is way higher than America. The returns on investment is way higher than America. But you know, some mistakes that those of you in America or Europe you do is you are not too sure of yourself. So you take about $200,000 home to go and start a business and think of your IT business here. Therefore, you leave it in the hands of your family. I'm sorry. Your family, even if in Ghana you are going to do business and on the flight you meet a man who says he's Jesus Christ. The moment he says Jesus Christ says he knows Ghana, don't believe him again. Because Jesus Christ that knows Ghana in business is being corrupted. So make sure you apply all business principles to protect your interest. When you do that, and you sacrifice your job here to go and manage your business, like I sacrificed my degree, but my dean was begging me to finish, but I left. And now I have a compensation for that in terms of wealth. So what you have to do, if you want to do business in Ghana, make sure you don't leave it in the hands of your family members. In Ghana, is the only country chiefs have somebody they call apologetic, whatever. He goes around to apologize on behalf of people for their wrongdoing. Yeah. So it tells you the kind of culture we have. Here, you make a mistake and you are fired. No pastor will come and beg. No chief will come and beg. No politician will call to threaten the owner of the business. But in Ghana, politicians who do not even know how to create businesses, politicians who do not know how to create businesses, when you fire somebody and he knows, thank you, business falls under his ministry, to threaten you. If you don't reinstate him, I'm going to cut you off. So you need to have ample time. Go there yourself, take the risk, manage your business. And I can assure you that if you manage your business well and you have time for the business, you won't come back here again. Yeah, now I come here. I even want to sell all the properties I have here, except one, maybe. I come here only on medical grounds. And this time, I'll make sure, if I'm the leader of the country, we build sophisticated hospitals to take care of our people. But the first project, the Indian I'm talking about, we are going to do is medical tourism. That's what we're going to do. We're going to build a nice facility for others to stop going to America, South Africa, and all those things. We are Ghanaians, we are human beings. We need to challenge ourselves. We can do it. We have to say that what any man has done on earth, we Ghanaians are capable of doing it. That's the way I think and the way I challenge myself at any given time. Then, the fifth one is savings. Savings. Some people find excuses to say that my salary is not enough, and therefore, I can't save. You have to save. If you are not married, and you are single, well, here rent is expensive, so I'll say that you have to save at least 50% of your salary. And how you can do it is, you have to find a roommate. If your rent is 3,000, you find a roommate and charge you 1,200. Obviously, you take the master bedroom. Yeah, so it pays 1,200. It becomes your savings. What I say is that freedom is very, very expensive. Those students in Ghana, when they come out of college, they are in a hurry to find their own place because he needs a girlfriend, she needs a boyfriend. But it comes with cost. But if you live with your parents for say 5 years and accumulate savings, when you are moving from home, you have some sort of capital to start whatever you want to do. The same thing is applicable here. That you can have roommates. And I share my experience with you. When I was working at Zaro Bakery, I helped 3 of my roommates in Germany also to join me in America here. And we're staying in one room. But I got another job, a second job, that was the gas station. So I was making more money than them. So I took 50% of the rent. And 3 guys were working at Zaro Bakery, we were all making $120 a week. So I made them pay half of the rent. And the ladies here should forgive me. It's personal experience. You know, the guy who gave us the apartment, he so rest in peace. He had, that time he had 8 limousines. And what he does is on Friday, he come with a beautiful black American woman. They are all on cocaine. So you can imagine when they're having sex. And 3 guys, 4 of us, we sleeping in the living room. And all you hear is, Thomas, Thomas. So no, I'm serious. We come to a lot. One day, one footballer asked me a question. Oh, so, Honorable, have you made a mistake before? I looked at you. I said, why not? Am I not a human being? You know, so what happened was that my roommates decided to move. They moved. One went to Anderson Avenue, one went to Davidson Avenue, and the third one got a black American woman, Stephanie, and she moved. When he moved, he was paying full rate. All of them were paying full rate. Meanwhile, they were earning $480 a month because they were making $120 a week. And if your rent is $340, what have you done? And they were teasing me, oh, with all what Thomas is doing, Ken is cheap. I am cheap. I don't want to move. So my roommate, who said that he's in Seattle, I sent him a message that the day I'll move from this apartment, I'm not going to rent an apartment, I'll move to my own house. And I did that. The house was 220,000, 624 Commonwealth Avenue. I was next to Jennifer Lopez's mother at Commonwealth Avenue, and I paid a deposit of $69,000 that time. And I've never rented a place for all this while. I have so many houses that sometimes my cousin has to take me around to go and show me my own house. And those who said I was cheap, their freedom cost them. So freedom is very, very expensive. And therefore, if you want to succeed in life, you should have the power of savings. It's very, very important. Be a male, a female, you're a human being. You need to save. Savings, savings, savings. And after savings, you need to invest. Some people look at their bank accounts and they are so excited. Oh, I have arrived. And they don't invest it. If you don't invest it, you might be in a comfortable position that you can afford anything you want. But if you invest the money, you can triple your savings in no time. I mean, here, whilst you are working, you can buy the stocks that I'm talking about. But I think it's a lazy approach. But you buy the stocks, before you decide to go home, you invest in the stocks. Whatever money you get, you cash out. First, go to Ghana, investigate the businesses, which one you can comfortably invest in. Then you come back and cash it. Go and sit there. Don't give it to your mother. Don't give it to your sister. No relative. You have to manage the business yourself. If you do that, your investment will never go waste. So investment is also key. And the last one is humility. Humility. Your working relationship with your workers is key to your success. If you don't respect them, if you don't treat them well, if you don't encourage them, you'll be surprised. Why I see Ghana as a laid-back country is here, anybody who decides to upgrade himself or educate himself to a higher level, you come back to your organization and they look at your qualification and give you promotion or increase your salary. In Ghana, the police service, for instance, if you want to upgrade yourself and on your own you go to university and come back, they will never accept your degree. Never. Military, the same. I'm surprised. Workers educating themselves, innovating themselves, the system do not take care of them. But here you know what I'm talking about. That if you educate yourself very well, you either quit from your old job and move into a new area. And it will be considered. But outside of the world, you'll be surprised that they don't want to hear that you went to university and you're back. It's so demoralized. I allow my workers to improve themselves, and when they come, I glorify them with good salaries. This is how you encourage or motivate your workers also to work hard. Another example, the last plastic company I bought somewhere in February. The Indian guy, I went there, I saw one old lady. Now, so I'm going to marry you. How old are you? 70. I said, yes, I'm going to marry you. Then I asked her, so how long have you worked? She said 17 years. So how much do you get? And she said 300 Ghana cedis. I said, what? 300 Ghana cedis. I gave a sign to my son and said, oh, I have a new wife here. Increase it 400%. Now she makes 1,200 as a cleaner. Far better than the 300. I called for the salaries, and it was nothing to write home about. People were leaving the company. So even when I bought it, I had to go to my constituency and recruited 40 guys, gave them accommodation in Tema to go and work over there. But when I changed the system, gave them good salaries, those who left the company were coming back asking for employment because the word went round. Honorable Ken took over and he has changed everything for us. Your working relation with the people, your workers, counts a lot. It motivates them, it encourages them to work hard. Because Ghana, if you don't do that with them, here you work hard and your company will promote you. Ghana, you work hard and your own colleagues will be calling you names. Are you stupid? You are working as if the business is for your father. Yes. Yes, you see, that's the difference between us and the rest of the world. So humility is also key to success. If you really want to succeed in business, you have to be humble. You have to have good relationship with your workers. And trust me, you will make it. So tonight, I want you to jot down these 7 determinants of success. Go out there, study it one by one. Follow it religiously. And you see, one day you'll be better than Kennedy Japan. You know, the problem we have in Ghana is people, surprisingly, are not willing to share their past with the young ones that are coming. I'm proud to let you know that I was born and bred in that village. And my wife from RP Bafo's family, if not well, from Asindo, where we are. You know? So, if that boy from poor home in Asindo now stand before you and speak to you, then believe in yourself that sky is the limit. You should begin to challenge yourself that anything that Kennedy Japan has done, I can do it and do it better. And when you begin to think like that, the future will be yours. So I'm not saying anything to discourage you that your job, I know most of you have good jobs here, but you can have good money. You can have good money too. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. It will be tough, but you have to be determined that I will not continuously work for anybody for the rest of my life. One day, I'm also going to be an employer. I will set up my business and I will employ people. When you begin to think like that, trust me, one day you'll be surprised what you can do for yourself and do for others. So let's challenge ourselves as people. Let's challenge ourselves as Ghanaians. And let's challenge ourselves and said that enough is enough. Ghana, we only know how to speak English. We speak English better than the British. We speak English better than the Americans. But we lack pragmatism, pragmatic approach. America here, when we say pragmatism, intention. You finish college, you're an engineer, they fix you an engineering fair to get practical experience. In Ghana, engineer, national service, is a receptionist. Yeah, engineer, is a receptionist. I became the board chairman of Ghana Gas. One day I went there, I was interviewing them. And the lady said, she's an engineer. I said, okay, engineer, Ghana Gas, you're supposed to be at Atua. Why are you here? You have to learn. First hand, whatever you study at the university, go and get practical experience. If you're a reception at the headquarters and you are happy, going to Atuabo, you think, we don't like him, that's where your future is. Go and learn, get first-hand experience. But as an engineer, petroleum engineer, you come and they put you in that small office as receptionist. What practical experience are you going to get? This is what I believe in, that Ghana, there are so many things we can do to develop our country for all of you to come back with the knowledge that you have acquired here to help us develop the country. We cannot continuously rely on IMF, World Bank for our survival. At least, I appreciate President Trump in a way because he canceled the US aid. That should be a sign to African leaders that you cannot continuously depend on people for your survival. A day will come that will cut you off, as President Trump has done. It should be a lesson to us so that all our natural resources, I was talking to Doc. In 1894, Anglo Gold and all those mining companies, the mining laws have never changed. It is only the English that they've changed it. Yeah, because if a mining company comes in to invest and he says that royalties is 10%, then corporate tax 35%, and they've never declared profit, how are you going to get the profit? Reverse it. Royalties 35%, corporate tax 10%. If they don't want it, let it be there. We don't lose anything. Our raw materials, to date, we don't add value to our cocoa. We sell the cocoa beans and always hedge it. Switzerland, UK, always dictating the price. How? We have to process our cocoa into powder. That is one company. Minimum 500 youth will be working when we are processing the beans into powder. 2, from the powder to the chocolate, minimum 300 people will be working. 2 companies, 800 youth are working. What are we doing? We can use our cocoa for cocoa cream. Another company, 200 people are working. In total, you have about 1,000 workers. The value chain. If our leaders will put their mind to this and get the basics right, we will not be destroying our natural resources, our forests, rivers, and all those things, the Ghanaians say. I was in Thailand, and cassava. They use cassava for 32 different products. Cassava in Thailand. What are we doing? We can use cassava for ethanol. We can use cassava for starch. We can use cassava for poultry feed. We can use cassava for flour. So many things. Cassava biscuit. When they give it to you, you're surprised. You wouldn't know that is cassava. And these are all different industries that we can create, the value chain. And all you see Ghanaians eating gari, eba, fufu, and the rest. Look, plantain. During my trip in Western North, I saw plantain on the roadside. Yeah, a contemporary and the rest, getting spoiled because they don't have buyers. Simple. You need a machine that is costing $200,000 to process the plantain into powder. One. The plantain stem, they use it for carpet like this. When you go to Kenya, they are using the plantain stem for carpet. I have a technology that we've developed. They are going to use plantain stem for tampons, diapers, and tissues. That is what I say, get the basics right. And if we get it right, look, you see this is not pure wood. This is compressed sawdust. And we can use sugarcane. In India, I visited 2 companies, one in Kunapu and one in Lokra. After the sugar, they get ethanol. Ethanol, the byproduct is the sawdust. They compress it and they get this, doors and chairs. Then every sugar plant in India generates its own electricity. And the excess is supplied to the national grid. We have arable lands all over. What are we doing? We lack poor leaders. Case closed. I'm blunt. Poor leaders. When they come, they speak big English. Anybody who goes to a country, wow. You know? So let's come together. What you have to do now is come together, set up companies. That is what Indians are doing, and they are making good money. Come together, trust each other, form partnerships. And some of the IT guys, if you come up with good proposal, I'm prepared to invest. That's the way to go. I'm talking about agri-tourism. I still believe in technology and innovation. So I leave here tonight just to encourage you that you should begin to set up your own businesses, form partnerships. Don't always work for people. Don't. I know capital is hard to come by. That's why I'm saying you should form partnerships. When you form partnerships, trust me, one day, we'll come back and see the Gargantua factory belonging to Ghanaians. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a political front. That is why I'm sober. So forgive me. If you are expecting the vibrant side of me, I only do that when I'm doing politics. This one is entrepreneurship. So I will end here and also take questions from you. Thank you for listening.
Let's give Honorable Ken. Should have charged for this event, right now? All right, so it's free tonight, but later. So at this point, Honorable is going to take a couple questions. I know we're running out of time, and if you raise up your hand, okay, right here. And please stay away from politics. We want to be respectful.
Good evening, everyone. My name is James. Well, I own a couple of businesses before I moved to. My question is, I want to ask Honorable. Sometimes you talk to your Ghanaians and they be like, to be successful in business in Ghana, you need to know the people. I mean, have connection. I want to know, does that really matter? Yeah, because it's like, some people feel like for you to be successful in business in Ghana, you must know the people that follow. I mean, what sort of people. So I want to know from Honorable's experience, does that really matter?
Okay.
To be frank with you, it depends on the kind of business. One, your business, your market, and the demand comes from the general populace. You don't need government contracts. But if your business, you get contracts from government, then you always need the politicians. If not, they'll screw you up. But there are a lot of Ghanaians doing very well, and they are not into politics. They don't take anything for the government.
I'm talking about the paperwork and other things, sometimes for it to be very easier for you.
All right, no follow-ups at this point because we're running out of time. You can follow up even after the event, okay? But in respect of time, I'm gonna take 3 questions at the same time, and then Honorable, if you please answer. All right.
Hi, Honorable. My name is Aruna. First of all, I will take up the offer for the 5 million. I have a business proposal, so probably I can connect after. But my main question has to do with the entrepreneurship environment in Ghana specifically. So I know you own a lot of businesses, and you did mention that you do take care of your employees. Apart from taking care of them financially, what is it that one thing that makes your business succeed when it comes to the people that was going on? Thank you.
All right. Next question. Excellent question.
Yeah. My name is Isaac Sasu. So my question is about production in Ghana. Once you do the analysis, you quickly realize that the cost of production in Ghana compared to importing from China is very huge. Because the cost of energy, infrastructure, and constructions and everything, it's better to bring it from China. So how do you solve that issue?
Excellent question, Isaac. Next.
My name is Kofi Musu. My question is based on your point on integrity. I want to find out, have you had an issue with Ghanaians in terms of integrity and how did you solve it?
All right. Honorable, back to you. So we have the someone taking up the IT offering for business opportunity and a question on integrity and also what one thing needed.
know, how I've succeeded in Ghana is also used the American work ethics. I've used American work ethics. I've refused to change. I'll be very nice with my workers, but if you steal, even Jesus Christ comes to apologize, I will not accept. I will fire you. So they know that if they make a mistake, although I'm nice with them, they make a mistake, I'll fire them. Always, not all the time, you still get bad nuts. Most of them know that, look, as for boss, you smile with you today, and tomorrow you make a mistake, you fire you. So I use American ethics. And anybody who goes back home with American ethics, you succeed. You'll be a completely different businessman, and that will help you. Because you fire somebody, and the pastor will come in bed. You will say no. Even they will go to your own mother and tell your mother, stay home, I will give you food to eat. If they continue to steal, how would I be able to provide for you? So out. So I use American ethics, and I still maintain that, and it's working for me. 2, cost of production. Cost of production is so high in Ghana. First, the interest rate. If you really want to expand your business, you need a loan at the lower interest rate. But in Ghana, for instance, okay, these plastics that I produce, Indians, I'm competing with a lot of Indians. They take a loan from India at a rate of 4 to 5%. And we Ghanaians take a loan hovering between 30 to 35%. How are you going to compete? You're out. Then 2, electricity. You know, most of the companies that I'm able to pitch with investors, they get scared with the cost of electricity and they go back. I'll give you an example. My steel plant, as you see, we fixed all the machines. We're looking for power. I need 43 megawatts power. And Gridco can also me the power. They gave me an estimate of $12.7 million for the substation. I need $35 million for the raw materials. So I'm going to take 12.7 million out of the 35 for what happens. It means I'm going to see, so cost of electricity and other costs of doing business, laziness. The man always put in. You go there and somebody is sleeping. I fired one intern and one the other 2. 3 of them. One guy, he doesn't come to work. And you'll be surprised that 2 guys who are always there, who always cover for him. Oh, he just came and he left. I warned them, listen, do you understand intern? I'm not supposed to pay, but I pay. So if you lie again, I'm going to fire you. And I fired the intern. His father is a good friend of mine, but I fired him. Because if your father couldn't give you jobs, I fired him. Then integrity. Integrity. The most difficult part in Ghana when we are doing business is dishonesty. I'll give you another example. A gentleman one Sunday morning made a mistake and called me. I remember very well, I was from Kumasi. I landed at the International Airport. I went to Holiday Inn to have breakfast. I had persistent call, so I picked. I said, oh, Honorable, I want ideas from you what I should say in court tomorrow. Say, court tomorrow, what? I said, well, my immediate supervisor always gave us some items to go and sell. I think it's a wholesale, they sell things like this, you know, tuna, sardine, juice, and all this. So the supervisor will always collect some of the items, go and sell it to another shop, and he will give it to his junior officer, plus the guy who called me, who is a driver, and they will go and sell. What they sell, he will take 15%, the two guys will take 25. So they went there. Now he's in court, he's telling me what to say. I said, I will come to Tema myself and tell the judge. But with my personal experience, when I set up Hollywood, we have restaurants, bars, a lot of things. You know, I made it like a mini mall or plaza. And one day, I was there, my own good friends came to drink. And that particular drinks, they took about 4 bottles. So in the morning, I came back to check the money. And they accounted for only 2 bottles. So I said, I saw my own friends drinking 4 bottles. So I didn't say anything. I went to the supermarket and questioned. Have those girls at the restaurant come to buy drink for me? He said, yes. I said, come, follow me. He followed me to the girls at the restaurant. He said, repeat what you just told me. When he said it, I said, please, out, you are fired. 3 days later, a priest came to me. I didn't know, he was sitting there, I was going around, and somebody told me, oh, he's a priest, he wants to see you. So I stopped everything that I was going to go and talk to him. And he said, oh, the 2 girls, one of them is my niece, and I said, I thought you said you're a priest. Is that what is in the Bible? I'm sorry. In America, that I was. When I get fired, no priest. So, no respect. Then, he advised me. He said, whilst waiting for you, I saw that all your workers speak one language. Do you understand their language? I said, no. He said, well, let me give you a piece of advice. Never employ people, all of them, that you don't understand their language. This difference will continue. So I have several experiences. I even my own son are fighting. Yeah, I'm fine, you run away. So integrity, if you want to succeed, you have to be strict and use the American principle.
Thank you, Honorable. All right. We'll take one set of quick questions, and this time we need Cliff's Notes version of the answer.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
All right. Super. All right.
Honorable, thank you for joining us today. So my question is on bureaucracy. You know, with your experience in Ghana, how have you navigated the bureaucratic nature of doing business?
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Honorable, thank you for your time. We appreciate you and everything you do for Ghana. Quick question here. So I know that you talk everything is interconnected. Integrity, honesty, linked to accountability. I'm curious. You always give examples of how you monitor people define. What's your style in terms of how you're able to manage all your businesses and your style of being people accountable in terms of monitoring everything? Because it looks like you're a very busy person with everything going on. So what's your style of being monitoring everything?
Excellent question. Also, Mike. Thank you.
Honorable, thank you for coming to St. Louis. We are excited to have you over here. My name is Marcus. Honorable, one thing I've noticed is there's a trend of young people who are supposed to be getting into business shifting into what we call political entrepreneurship. That is like business for them, because a lot of them say politics is lucrative. Honorable, how do we prevent these business-minded people from getting into politics?
Thank you, Marcus. Thank you. Excellent question. Okay, over to you, Honorable.
Bureaucracy is a big challenge. And you see, because of that, I've been branded radical. I always challenge the status quo. We take advantage and sabotage businesses, especially we, the citizens. One day, I was going to buy, I left my documents at the Ministry of Energy. I came back, and the guy couldn't even find the documents. Put it in the safe and locked it. And he forgot that he put it there. Meanwhile, he was only supposed to glance through and minute it to his boss. Others, the bureaucracy you are talking about, they are just thieves. Thieves. You know, they use that to extract money from you. They'll put your files aside. If you don't speak their language, they will never do the right thing for you. And I call them thieves. And today, no, tomorrow you hear that they will say, Japan is calling them thieves. I really don't care. It's the gospel truth. You know, so it's a problem, honestly. I introduced a gentleman to Liberian president. Now he's moving all his businesses to Liberia. Meanwhile, he's a Ghanaian because of bureaucracy. He says what will take him 3 or 4 months to get approval in Ghana is 3 days in Liberia. So now he's moved. So bureaucracy is really a threat to development in Ghana. How do I monitor my businesses? You know, don't get me wrong, they still steal. They still steal. But what I always say is, you know, the African problem, when you have 10 apples, and even in America here, they do steal. But America, 10 apples, they'll take 1. Okay? But in Ghana, 10 apples, they'll take 9. So I managed to get my workers taking 1. Oh, they still steal. As for that, they steal. But what can I do? But you see, I give you an example. My son is doing very well. He does the Afro-Chella, whatever. Americans gave him a contract to recruit African basketball players. So he doesn't have time for my business. Anytime I go there, he's not there. I say, well, you know what? Thank God you are doing your own business. I fired the mother too. Now, I told the mother, whatever money you were getting, lawyer, give the same money to her, but she's out. And my son, we're out. And the workers over there know that I fired my wife, I fired my son. What signal is it to you? That's how I manage to get things done. I'm very, very strict. So the message is clear. If you work with him, he will treat you well. But if you try to be dishonest or dupe him, he will get you fired. So that's how I go through. Political entrepreneurship. I tend to agree with him that these days, when you see your own colleagues from the university who happens to be politicians following some presidents or political party, And now when you go back home, see the number of cars they have, the homes they have. Obviously, the young ones who are watching carefully will also think that, look, that's the way to go, and they have to emulate them. But I assure you, all those, they are temporary. Because politics has a life. Your maximum is 8 years. So 8 years, then what? When they are out of power, they tend to sell most of the properties they buy. I bought most of them. Yeah, because they don't know how to do business. So when they make money, they go and buy a house. And how much is rent? So when they are out of power, the rent cannot sustain them because of the lifestyle they acquire. So, young man, I think it's temporal. But it's true that some have really made it. That is why the young ones think the only way to make money is to go into politics. I went to politics when I was a man of substance already. That's why I could speak my mind. Because as a member of parliament, I was making 17,000 cedis a month. I mean, how? And some of my workers get about 25,000 cedis. And a member of parliament getting 17,000 cedis. So it's not anything to write home about. But some people have to do it. We can also not leave it in a vacuum that nobody will go into politics anymore. But even those of you here are also very disappointed. Because those who got appointment in Ghana were expecting them to, make a difference. They didn't. They didn't. What say you, I don't mean you in this room, but I'm talking about, Ghanaians who had appointments were expecting them to make a difference. But trust me, they also equally amass wealth at the expense of the poor people in Ghana. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Last question until the night is over.
Honorable, I have this might be a very difficult question for you.
Mr. Martin.
In Ghana, currently we are generating 5,200 megawatts of electricity nationally. And your factory alone it needs about 43 megawatts. And that's a heavy industry when it comes to steel. Right. Most of the companies in Ghana are light industrial companies. Right. So if we are to get most of such heavy industries in Ghana, how are we going to cope with? And my second question is, we have exhausted the Akusumo River power. And we cannot employ wind turbines because we don't have the required wind speed to use wind power. Now, the only way is solar. Solar is not doing well at the same time. The only way is nuclear energy. So, what is the way forward? And what does it take to build nuclear in Ghana?
Excellent question from Mr. Martin. And the reason Mr. Martin actually paid for all the food you ate at the summer party at the park.
Yeah, what is the way forward? How are we going to, what are we going to do? Because it is projected that Ghana, the energy demand in 2030 is going to be almost 25,000 megawatts.
Well, you know what? Let me start with this simple things. One, when you go to Thailand, they use rice husk to generate power. And you won't believe it, the excess is supplied to the national grid. Two, India, they use sugarcane. The almost every sugar plant I visited supply excess power to the national grid. Okay, when you do that, you'll be able to free Akosombo. Okay, you'll be able to free Akosombo. The light industries will get it from electricity company, not the grid code. Okay. 2, why solar is not working? If we put our mind to it, solar will work. I've seen Laura in the north. I've seen them, the solar plants and everything, whatever they do. The initial cost is expensive. That is where they have the challenge. But we have to invest in it. I don't have a problem with the nuclear energy. What I heard, I'm not too sure. This is speculation. Even what we have at the atomic energy, that's what they're saying. I'm not too sure. I've not done my investigation. This is not factual. It might not be factual. And even atomic energy, now they don't have that nuclear energy over there anymore. I don't know what they've done to it. But we can do it. You see, all boils down to the leadership and what they stand for. Now that I'm suffering from this power, obviously when I come, I know what I'm going to do. We don't set our priorities straight. Other areas where when you go, they've packed generators, transformers, cables under the sun. And if they really believe in industries, they will resource Greenco. They are not resourcing them. And I can tell you, we still have excess power. With the private companies coming in and everything, what the actual demand currently, we still have enough for Ghana. But getting your cables, the high voltage cables and all those things. Anyway, it's very, very expensive. I tried to do it myself, which I still have to. It cost me $9 million. At least I beat it down by 3.7. So we can do the nuclear. We can do other things where we can free the load on the Akosombo, whatever, VR, because it's very, very expensive. Akosombo, VR is charging me 16 cents per kilowatt hour. And so as for power, we need it. And I'll show you, if I'm elected, that's the first place I'll look at. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This year has been great today. Can we give it up for everyone? I would like to invite before Honorable and our two speakers here, and then I would want to also invite the executives of the St. Louis Greater Area Ghanaian Association. Please, we're doing this in 1 minute. We're going to take an official photograph because history has been made and posterity will see this day. And the only way we can give evidence to posterity is with these pictures we shall provide to them and the works we shall do from today. So please, can I welcome the executives together with us?
Current executives of Ghanaian Association of Greater St. Louis. Take a photo. Please have patience with us as we make this happen. Uncle.
How do we get a copy of your video? This is live. Oh, okay. On YouTube. Okay. So you, I don't know.
Where's the photograph?
You don't save. You don't save. Just go to my channel and you see. Oh, what's your channel like?
Okay.
Ken's Jersey TV.
Where's the professional photographer? Okay, perfect.
KINGS. KINGS.
I'm sorry, excuse me.
Space.
Yeah, the organizing team,
Jason.
let me pray. Organizing team for this particular event. The organizing team, please. We are doing this in 1 minute. Official photographer, can we do this real quick because we are far from the time? Yeah. Because when I want to have a banchi, you can use the banchi because when I want to have a cassava. Yeah, the organizing team, please join us here. Okay.
All right. Other leaderships in Ken. All right. Mr. Michael. What this means for us is that, look, you make a great impact with all the tentacles, your relationships, and your connections. Okay, so now we have all these collaborations. St. Louis is known for the fact that all these Ghanaians together, we have a lot of togetherness, right? It's one Ghana for us. We don't have tribal divisions amongst us. So this is going to elevate us and even put us higher on the map. One thing for sure, you know that St. Louis has the gateway to the west. You cannot cross the west without passing through the gateway to the west. So guess what?
Thank you, Dr. Boku. My name is Henry. To share the closing prayer, can I crave your indulgence to stand up? Please don't be